Hi everyone, this is Jasmine, one of your Adult Services librarians at the Cherry Hill Public Library. In this video, I'll be introducing you to Goodreads, a website dedicated to browsing, discovering, and reviewing books. Goodreads is really useful for keeping track of books you have read and want to read, and also for finding new reading recommendations based on your reading preferences. You can also download the Goodreads app onto your phone or tablet so you can easily access your reading lists on the go. Goodreads is also a useful online community forum for readers who enjoy discussing books with other readers. You can join groups, read and comment on other readers' reviews, and add friends whom you exchange messages with. In this basic overview of Goodreads, we're going to cover how to create an account, how to sign into Goodreads, how to search for books, how to mark a book as want to read, and how to find some good recommendations for yourself. We'll also explore some general pages, including your dashboard and a page about a book. To access the Goodreads website, just type in goodreads.com at the top of your internet browser into the search bar. Creating an account is very simple. On the right-hand side of the Goodreads page, it reads, "New here, create a free account." Just type in your name, email address, and password of your choosing into the appropriate boxes, and then click Sign Up underneath. You'll see here you also have the option of creating an account using your Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Amazon account, or Apple ID. I'm going to create a simple account using an email address and password. Whatever email address and password you use becomes your login information for Goodreads. Now that I've created an account, it's going to take me through a couple of steps in setting up my Goodreads account. This first page is essentially helping you find friends through Goodreads, either through Facebook or Gmail. I'm not going to worry about that right now, so I'm going to click skip this step. This next page asks me to set a reading goal for 2020. Some people like to challenge themselves to read a certain number of books in the year. So, for example, on my personal account, I've set a goal to read 100 books in 2020. And every time you finish a book, it adds to your reading challenge. And it's just a great way to challenge yourself to read more each year. But I'm going to skip this as well. Now here, this gives you an option to select your favorite genres so that Goodreads can generate some reading recommendations for you right from the get-go. So for example, if I pick any of these, you can pick as many as you want. And if you don't see any genres that you do like to read, you can click Don't See Your Favorite Genres here, and it will probably generate more for you. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to hit Continue. And then you'll see on this next page, it picks a bunch of books that fall under the genres that I picked on the last page. Most of them are popular titles, and it's asking me to rate some of them if I've read them. For example, if I liked Educated and I read it, give it a rating. And you can see under each book, if you haven't read it yet, it gives you the option to mark it as want to read so that you can keep track of it in the future. Again, I'm not going to worry about this right now. I'm just going to click I'm finished rating. And you'll see that it didn't make any recommendations for me because I didn't rate any books on the previous page. This is okay because as you grow your Goodreads account and continue to mark books that you want to read and mark books that you finished reading and give them ratings, you'll get plenty of reading recommendations. So we're just going to keep going ahead. Just so that I can show you how to log back into Goodreads if you haven't logged in already, I'm going to click on this button in the upper right-hand corner, which is basically all of the settings for my personal account, and I'm going to click Sign Out. And if you were on goodreads.com and wanted to sign in, you would just type in whatever email address you use to create your account. Click sign in, and it will take you to the main page of your Goodreads account. So this is what your dashboard for Goodreads would look like. You have this menu at the top for home, which will take you back to this main page. My books, which will show you all of the bookshelves you've created, including books you want to read, books you have read, and also categorized books. I like to organize my books into folders after I've read them. There's also the browse option for searching books, browsing by genre, looking up new releases of books coming out. It's great for exploring books, as if you were walking through the library and just kind of walking through the shelves rather than knowing exactly what you're looking for. And then there's also a community tab for, like I said, this is a great website for people who like to interact with other readers, but we're not going to go over that today. I'm going to click on the home page to take us back to our dashboard. And this is what it looks like. You'll have updates in the center. It's kind of like Facebook or another social media website that you might use, where you can see updates from people you follow, updates about popular books coming out. On this left-hand side, this is all about you. It'll include books that you are currently reading, if you mark them as currently reading, your reading challenge, if you have one, books you want to read next, some recommendations, and then also all of the bookshelves or folders that you create for books. On the right-hand side, you have some interesting book-related widgets, including news and interviews, more recommendations if you have more, and there's also Goodreads Choice Awards, which is a really cool way for people to vote on their favorite books in 2020. Now I'm going to show you how to search for a book and mark it as a book that you want to read. So there's a search bar at the top of the Goodreads page where it says search books, and you can type in the title of a book you're interested in. I'm going to type in a really popular one, for example, Where the Crawdads Sing by Dealey Owens. And as soon as you start typing, it starts to generate titles based on whatever you put into the search bar. So this first book is exactly the one I was looking for. I'm going to click on it. And it takes me to this page about the book. So you'll see the picture of the book, the title, the author, a description of the book. And you'll see right underneath the picture of the book, it says want to read. So I'm going to click this because I want to read this book and I have not read it yet. If it's a book that you have read, you'll see this little drop-down arrow right here. You can mark it as a book that you've already read, or you can mark it as currently reading, as if you were reading it right now. But I'm going to put this as want to read, as if I did not read it yet. On the right-hand side, there are a couple different options here, including recommend it. If you have any friends through Goodreads, you can recommend this book to them if you think it's a good one for them. And this is a great way to find book recommendations as well. Here it says readers also enjoyed. So it's one of those, if you like this book, you might like this one. So some recommendations for people who've read Where the Crawdads Sing include The Silent Patient, Little Fires Everywhere, Educated, American Dirt. And if you click on the picture of one of these books, you can go to that page and also read a description. And if you just hover over the book without clicking on it, you can see it tells you the title. It gives you a little bit of the description. And you can also here mark it as want to read. Click on the drop down. If you have already read it, you can click read. If you're reading it right now, click currently reading. Or if you've created a bookshelf and you want to add it to a bookshelf, you can select it here. I'm also going to mark The Silent Patient as want to read. And looking at this page for Where the Crawdads Sing, I'm just going to scroll down so you can see a little bit more. Underneath the description, it tells you where you can buy a copy, and it'll usually list Amazon, the stores you can buy it from, libraries. If it's a certain edition of a book, whether it's a hardcover, ebook, paperback, it'll tell you how many pages it is, when it was published. On the right-hand side here, you can see the genres that most people mark it as. So a lot of people mark Where the Crawdads Sing as fiction, historical fiction, mystery. Some people have listened to the audiobook of it, so they marked it as an audiobook. Some people chose it as their book club book. And then you'll also see some information about the author here. And a lot of authors create Goodreads accounts to promote their books and to also interact with readers. So if you really like an author, you can follow them and you'll get updates about them, like when a new book is coming out or if they posted something on Goodreads. And if you continue to scroll down more on this page for any book, you'll see different Goodreads users' reviews. You can see their rating, their thoughts. Some people mark their reviews if they have spoilers, so be sure to look out for that. They'll usually cut the review off at some point so that it doesn't give away too much information about the book for you. But you can see there are lots of people who read this one and rated and reviewed it, some 4 stars, some 1 stars. But this is the general overview of any book that you're looking at. Just to give you an example of what a bookshelf looks like, I'm going to add a couple more books here as want to read, just to show you. So I have about 4 or 5 books now that I've marked as want to read. I'm going to click on My Books at the top of the page, and this will again take me to my bookshelves or my folders that I've categorized my books. And you'll see that at the top here, there's read, currently reading, and want to read. And let's say I finished one of these books or any book. I'm going to go to, for example, Little Fires Everywhere. I did read that book. I read it already. I marked it as want to read, but I want to say I did finish this book. So I'm going to click on this drop-down arrow, click on read. And once you mark a book as read, it gives you the option to rate the book, put it under any bookshelves you created, whether you just want it in your read folder, or maybe you have a special folder dedicated to realistic fiction, etc., whatever you want to call it. And then you can put your review here, which is totally optional. A lot of people like to share their books, book reviews with friends and other people in general. It's a really great way to just practice expressing yourself and reviewing books. And if you have any spoilers in your review, you see you have the option here of clicking hide entire review because of spoilers. And some people, like myself, do like to include when they started and finished reading a book. You can do that here by selecting the year, month, and day. I'm not going to worry about that, and I'm just going to click post. And now I've marked that book as read. I gave it 4 stars. If I click on My Books, you'll see that the book has been added to my read folder. And then you'll see that my want to read folder only has 3 books now because I finished one of those books. But that's a basic overview of Goodreads. Really easy to, find books that you want to read, keep track of the ones you want to read, and also keep track of the books that you've already read. And I hope that this computer class was helpful. I hope that you continue to use Goodreads to explore and find new books to read and maybe connect with other readers as well. If you have any other questions, feel free to email us at chplref@chplnj.org. This is our reference email, which will put you in contact with one of our librarians who will be happy to help you out. Have a great day, and thanks for watching this class. Bye.